Campbell and Johnson gonna talk about sports today. You can disagree, I don't care what you have to say. Bet by odds, you know how Vegas play. 5 days go by, then you have the last say. Stephen A. and his sidekick Max, Nick Wright and Jenna get taxed. Shannon and Skip, Marcellus in the back. Big Whitlock got fired where you at. These sports reporters ain't giving you the facts. Don't bet your life cause you won't get it back. It's the Last Say podcast, that's where it's at. It's the Last Say, have a nice day. It's the Last Say, it's the Last Say. Welcome to the Last Say. I'm your host, Reggie Reg. This is a special edition. First, I want to congratulate the Los Angeles Lakers. The 2020 World Champion Los Angeles Lakers defeat the Miami Heat 106-93 in a Game 6. And Vegas already has them favored next year to win it all. And I must agree with Vegas. But I think we got to make some minor changes. Let's go ahead and recap the game, and then we'll talk about some of those changes we need to make. King James gets another triple-double, going for 28, 14, and 10. AD was big with 15 boards. KCP had 17 points. And playoff Rondo, 19 points off the bench. How good has Rondo been? We definitely need to bring Rondo back. I believe KCP is under contract for one more year, so he's going to be back. And of course LeBron, and you know AD is going to re-sign that max contract with the Lakers. Why wouldn't he? Your first year you win the championship. Finally, Danny Green woke up and scored 11 points. Now let's talk about Danny Green for a minute. Danny Green is getting $15 million. He's the third highest paid Laker. Do you want him back? I don't know if I want him back. I mean, he hasn't done anything in the whole entire playoffs. Can you remember any playoff game where we were talking about Danny Green? So, Lakers, if you're listening, you have to be like New England Patriots. You have to be like Bill Belichick. Every year he tweaks that team. Not a lot, just a little. You can't keep coming back with the same teams because teams are going to adjust to you, your strength. And as you can see, this is what I see. Don't you see all, and I'm talking about all these good teams and even some of the bad ones, but I'm talking about the playoff in the bubble. It seemed like every team had about 2 or 3 players that can shoot that ball, whether they were starting or coming off the bench. We don't have no shooters on our team. They're either hot or they're cold. We win on defense. Danny Green is getting $15 million. I think he's got one more year left on his contract. I think we can get somebody better than Danny Green. You can get rid of Dudley. He didn't even play. Why even have him on the team? Cook. He didn't even play. Why have him on the team? And J.R. Smith. He celebrated like he won the game-winning shot. It's like those players I think you can get rid of. You might, to get rid of Danny Green, you might have to include Kuzma. I mean, hey, depending on who that player is, Kuzma had maybe 1 or 2 good games, but He didn't do a whole lot. He was okay. He wasn't horrible. But Danny Green was horrible. He was horrible. But I do think the Lakers can win 1 or 2 more championships. Now, here's the big question that everybody talking about today. Is LeBron James climbing the list of greatest of all time? In my opinion, yes. To me, I would have to agree with Stephen A. Smith. I have LeBron James ranked as the all-time second greatest NBA player ever. Jordan number 1, LeBron number 2. Now, this is what I don't understand. You got people saying, oh no, it's Mike, it'll always be Mike. Well, LeBron's career isn't over. What if he wins 2 more championships? If this man could win not one more, if we win it next year, you're going to be like, this guy's bad. But if he wins 2 more, you got to really consider him as the greatest of all time. But we'll see if he can win 2 more. Heck, we got to even see if we can go back next year and win it. You know, it's kind of sad because now we have no more basketball. But I just want to thank all the players in the NBA for participating in the bubble. I mean, they were in that bubble for 90 plus days. That's 3 months away from your house, away from your family. Can't go and come as you please. I just want to go ahead and thank all the players for participating in the event. Now, I was watching ESPN, and Max Kellerman said, despite picking the Clippers to win it all, he's a Laker fan. No, Max, if you pick the Clippers, you're a Clipper fan. I don't care who's playing and how good they are. You're not going to go against your team. Now, I can see if the Lakers wasn't even in the playoffs. All right, I'm picking the Clippers to take it all. Your team is still in it. You don't go against your team. That's called a fair weather fan. I don't want to hear it. The Bulls hired former OKC coach Billy Donovan. The Bucks met with Giannis for 3 hours for lunch, assuring him they were going to build that team around him. With the Bucks, I think what they have to do, number 1, get rid of Drew Bledsoe. You got to get rid of him. Not Drew Bledsoe. Can't think of his first name right now. But Bledsoe, the little point guard they have, he chokes every year. Get rid of him. Get you a decent point guard in there. See, if they would have went for Kemba Walker, I think that would have been a nice fit for Milwaukee. You need somebody that can penetrate, because Giannis can't penetrate. I mean, he can penetrate, but once they start double him and triple him, he can't make a jump shot. So you got to have somebody that can kind of offset that. Every big needs their little. I don't know who's going to be available, but they got to figure it out. You know, they should have been the ones that got Jimmy Butler. And then you wouldn't have to forget Middleton signing him. You know he wasn't worth no $190 million. Y'all could have gave that to Jimmy Butler. Look how good you guys would have been with Butler. But you live and you learn. Paul Gasol and his wife named their daughter Elizabeth Gianna Gasol, giving her Kobe's daughter's name as their girl, baby girl's middle name. I thought that was nice of them. I thought that was sweet. Rest in peace, Gianna. Well, we'll be right back after these messages. LA Lakers, Clippers off fakers, sitting out games, taking money from your maker. LeBron AD, now you're talking about paper. Behind me, Heat, I see you guys later. Caldwell Pup getting all his faders. Lakers, screw all the haters. Lakers. We put together this team so fast. Paul Pierce, you can kiss my ass. Cancun, go catch your bath. I'm a DRO, never came in last. The chance, light it up with no last. It's back. You know it's gonna be on when I finish it up. Still working on it though. Now, back to the last say. Very sad day today. Got some sad news to report. If you don't already know, I'm sure you guys know, it's been all over the sports news today. Starting quarterback Dak Prescott broke his ankle. But the good news is he had successful surgery this morning. So likely he's done for the year. Poor Dak Prescott. Poor Dak Prescott. Now, Stephen A. Smith, I listened to you this morning, bro, and you're wrong. You keep referencing Dak Prescott to Tony Romo. Well, Jerry Jones would have paid if it was Tony Romo. You have to remember, Stephen A. Dak turned down a 5-year, $175 million contract, which at that time would have made him the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Dak wanted $185 million. He wanted $10 more million on that 5th year. Or he wanted the $175 for 4 years. So, who's the dummy now? I mean, if I'm Dak Prescott, I agree with Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson, you're normally wrong on a lot of things. I disagree with you a lot. But you hit it right on the money when you said it's the agent's fault. You fire that agent. That agent should have had you signing that contract to secure your future. You worry about getting more later. Quit looking at everybody else, the Russell Wilsons, the Patrick Mahomes, the Deshaun Watsons. Quit looking at what they're getting or what's projected to be the pay in the next few years. You don't know what that projection may be. We got COVID going on. You don't know if these sponsors and advertising companies are going to take a big hit. What if they start pulling out? And now they can't. I mean, the teams are already going to be losing millions of dollars because of no fans. Even the teams with fans, they just 20%, 30%. So it's like you could have had been secure for $175 million. Now, after this year, they could cut you if they wanted to. Now, they got a lot of love for you. I know they're not going to do that. But let's say you're Jerry Jones right now. You're probably saying, wow, I'm glad I didn't sign him. Now, on the other hand, I think what's going to happen is next year he's going to come back. They're going to franchise tag him again to see how that ankle is. If he balls out, I think they'll reward him then. I don't think they're paying him no more than $35 million. Dak Prescott, you're not worth more than $35 million. So hopefully you've learned your lesson. And next time they offer you a contract, you sign it. Despite Dak Prescott getting injured in the game, the Cowboys will still manage to hold on and come from behind and win the game 37-34 over the New York Giants. Now, Andy Dalton didn't look too bad. He went 9 for 11 for 111 yards. He threw some short passes. He threw one little bomb to Gallup. He threw a couple of good passes to Gallup. Or whether they was good passes or better catches, he got that connection going with Gallup. I saw him trying to force the ball to Cooper. It's almost like these quarterbacks think because Cooper's getting all that money, we got to force the ball to him. He's just not running his routes as crisp. He's not getting the separation. So I would leave him alone and focus in on Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb had a career high in yardage with 124 yards on 11 catches. Michael Gallup had 4 passes for 73 yards. And Amari Cooper only had 2 catches for 23 yards. And he's getting $20 million. 2 catches for 23 yards. 2 catches for 23 yards. Now that's comedy. And you get $20 million. You should have been the one with 124 yards on 11 catches. Well, Zeke didn't look too bad. He rushed for 91 yards on 19 carries, but he had 2 touchdowns. So that helped a lot. I hate to root against that. It's kind of a sad situation what's going on. Because what do you do if you're a Cowboy fan? You gonna give up on your team? No. You gonna still root for him. So if Andy Dalton is balling, you gonna root for him. Let's hope this is not another Philadelphia Eagles scenario where Andy Dalton comes in there and ball and takes Dallas to the Super Bowl. Because if that happens, that is in big trouble. He'll be looking for a job next year. The New England Patriots had positive COVID tests Sunday morning, so their game against the Giants was postponed. Denver will reschedule their game for next Sunday. I mean, you got, I think they said, 5 or several teams that have COVID cases in the NFL. So we'll see how that's going to turn out. But all them TV deals and all them millions of dollars, they're not going to leave that money on the table. They will finish out this season, even if it takes them an extra month or 2. We got Monday Night Football tonight. The LA Chargers against the New Orleans Saints. They're at New Orleans. The spread is New Orleans -7, over under 49.5. I would have to take the Chargers with those points. That new quarterback, that rookie quarterback they got, Herbert, from the University of Oregon. That kid looks good. He came out last week and he looked like he's ready for the NFL. So, and you already know with Joey Bosa in that defense, they're going to be bringing it. So I would take the Chargers +7. 49.5. I don't know about the over-under. I might have to go under on that one. And don't forget, we have a Tuesday afternoon game. The Buffalo Bills, the undefeated Buffalo Bills, travels to Tennessee to face the undefeated Titans. The Bills are a road favorite, and they're favored by 3.5. Even though I like the Bills in this game, it's something about giving those points up on the road. At home, yes. On the road, it's going to be tricky. You can flip a coin, but that's another game. I would probably have to take the points and go with the Tennessee Titans. We got MLB playoff games tonight. There's 4 teams left. The Houston Astros, the cheating Houston Astros against the Tampa Bay Rays. They're underway right now. It's the first inning just started. No score. After losing, after betting on the Yankees and losing, after seeing all that hitting that Tampa Bay has, I might have to take Tampa Bay, and I will have to take Tampa Bay in this series to beat the Astros. As much as I want to see a Dodger Houston World Series so the Dodgers can crush them, I think we're not going to get that wish this year. I think the Rays are going to defeat the Astros. The National League game tonight will be Atlanta at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers are minus 135. Now let me explain how this works for those of you that's not familiar with gambling on baseball. The Dodgers are minus 135. That means you have to bet $135 to win $100. Simple. There's no point spreads. It's too hard to have point spreads in baseball. What you gonna do? Give up 1, 2, 3 runs are so hard to get in baseball. They can't give up runs. Now, they do have another run line. Like say for example, the Dodgers right now are minus 135 to win 100. Let's say you don't want to risk 135 to win 100. You want to risk less money to win 100. Then you can give up 1.5 runs. It's always 1.5. You can give up 1.5 runs, and it may be minus 100 to win 100. You understand what I'm saying? The odds will go down because you're giving up 1.5 runs. And like I said, in baseball, it's hard to get runs. Now the over-under stays the same. The over-under is 8. I would probably have to go under in this first game. 8 rounds is a lot of runs. Unless they just come out. But then again, they've been off. They might come out swinging. Because that Dodgers lineup, boy, let me tell you, you get no rest. They are, everybody in that lineup from start to finish, from top to bottom, can hit a home run. So let's keep it going in LA. I'm taking the Dodgers tonight. I do think the Dodgers will be in the World Series, and I do think the Dodgers will win it all. So hopefully we're going to have the LA Dodgers and the LA Lakers as world champions for 2020. I thank you all for tuning in. Until the next time, I'm your host, Reggie Reg. Hope you enjoyed the show. Good night.